I'm so scared of Azula. She is so insane. They're such idiots. I honestly wouldn't mind if you just burned this whole place down. What the? He's just shooting explosions at them. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben and today I'll be reacting to Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 3 Episode 5. Now the last couple of episodes have been very character focused, which I'm really loving. They're sort of filler-ish, but I wouldn't call them filler. They're doing it so well. And a lot of the main plot isn't moving forward because it's sort of the going to the Black Sun thing. So they're filling out the time between that main event with focusing on each of the characters and giving them so much development. Sokka's episode, last one, I was so happy with. He got something more to do. He's got a sword. And I love it because it doesn't exactly put him on par with the Benders. He still couldn't help with a forest fire or something, but it gives him something else to do. And I'm just happy that the show is focusing on him in that way. That then it's not forgetting him and just favouring all these incredibly powerful, basically superheroes. So yeah, we had an Aang focused episode. Well, yeah, Aang's had quite a few focused episodes. He had 2 at the start. I'd say the school one did focus on him. And then you had Katara's episode and now Sokka's. So I'm wondering who might get the focus next. Toph, I think she kind of doesn't even need more focus. She's incredibly well developed. She's an awesome character. Wouldn't mind if she got another one. She seems pretty well rounded as it is. Zuko, I think definitely I wouldn't mind him getting a focused episode. He needs it. Everything going on with Iroh. I would love to just get a more in-depth look at like what's going on with him in the Fire Nation now. Yeah, this is only episode 4 and there's so much time between now and sort of the Black Sun thing. So I'm losing my mind and trying to think what else they could fit between now and the final thing. Yeah, as always, if you do enjoy this video, please remember to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel to grow. And if you do enjoy my content and you want to help support the channel, I do have a Patreon. The link will be in the description. Over there, I'm uploading these videos and the full reaction a week in advance. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it out. With that said, let's just dive on in.
It's gonna be great to hang out on the beach and do nothing.
Doing nothing is a waste of time. We're being sent away on a forced vacation.
You look so different. Is this gonna focus on you lot, like as a whole, not just Zuko?
Doesn't your family have a house on Ember Island?
We used to come every summer when we were kids.
Past stuff. This place looks nice. So Ember Island, that's what this is called. So it's just a vacation spot.
Welcome to Ember Island, kids.
You two are creepy. You come off as creepy, but also kind of nice.
Who are these 2 beautiful women?
It's Lou and me.
Ah.
I love the seashell bedspread.
It looks like the beach threw up all over it.
You can just never be happy with anything, can you?
But Ember Island is a magical place, and it can help you understand yourselves and each other.
Oh, that's super creepy, but I'm assuming that's what's going to be the focus of the episode.
Of smoothing even the most ragged edges.
Smooth them down. All of them are like very sharp.
Time to hit the beach!
Do you really think you should be exposing yourself like that?
What? I'm wearing trunks.
Yeah, no, the...
Tattoos I'm worried about. What if someone sees you?
Wait, how could you tell? Okay, yeah, just jump down a waterfall, which you have no idea where it goes. Lovely.
This has got to be the most boring job in the Fire Nation.
Soldiers. Oh, great. Please stay under the water.
Let's go again.
Great, that's lovely.
Avatar's alive. We better send a messenger hawk to the Fire Lord.
This can't be happening now. It feels way too light.
A black ribbon message. This is so exciting.
Oh, great, no. Oh, great, so is that it? Does the Fire Nation know he's alive now? Is that, okay, that goes their surprise. You're just jumping back and forth between serious and just light. It's weird. You are awful. You are just the worst.
Hey, you need some help unpacking?
I was way too eager. You're just checking everything out.
Could you scooch just a little bit more to the... Perfect.
Oh dear. She lets you just get any guy to do whatever she wants.
I saw it and I thought it was pretty. Don't girls like stuff like this?
Maybe stupid girls.
Forget it!
Is that relationship good? I can't tell. Is it like working?
So pretty.
Not as pretty as you are.
That shell's not so great.
This is so weird.
I thought since it's so hot. Here.
At least he's trying. This is really awkward.
We're playing next. Ty Lee, get over here now!
Just got a little squad formed around her. Oh Oh, you've gotten so skinny. What happened to you? You were like huge in season 1.
When she runs toward the ball, there's just the slightest hesitation of her left foot. I'm willing to bet a childhood injury has weakened her.
You're insane.
To her left and will destroy her and the rest of her team.
Destroy? This is a bit over the top, right? This is a game. Okay, I guess this is going into Azula as well then, and not just like Zuko. She's extremely competitive. You can balance on the net like that? And just guys checking them out, great. And okay, this is way over the top.
We defeated you for all time. You will never rise from the ashes of your shame and humiliation.
This is ridiculous.
I'm having a party tonight. You should come by.
Sure, I love parties.
Why are they posing?
What about me and my brother? Aren't you going to invite us? You don't know who we are, do you?
Don't you know who we are?
How could they not know? They're okay, I guess they're not as famous as they thought.
But fine.
I mean, the scar was kind of a giveaway.
The most important teenagers in the Fire Nation are gonna be at this party, so try and act normal.
Oh, they're idiots.
We'll do our best.
I'm so scared of Azula. She is so insane. Like, I get that she's, like, in combat. Great, she's psychotic and pretty incredible as a villain. But even in a casual setting, that doesn't stop. There's no, like, off switch for her.
Like waves washing away the footprints on the sand, Ember Island gives everyone a clean slate.
Okay, you're very weird.
And reveals the true you. To the party!
Oh, I think they were invited too. Oh, is this like some natural thing that gets in the way? This would be so fortunate. And it just tied it up. Okay, that was incredible. Oh, it's not natural, it stole the message. Great, who? Okay, mind eye dude. What was even that?
You're a little early. No one's here yet.
I heard you telling someone you'd be partying from dusk till dawn. It's dusk, so we're here.
Oh, she's awkward. She's quite awkward.
We are the perfect party guests. We arrive right on time because we are very punctual.
I'll blame this on the princess training. It's designed to make her the perfect, I guess, not leader, kind of just a representation of nobility. So of course she's going to be punctual.
That's a sharp outfit, Chan. You could puncture the hull of an Empire-class Fire Nation battleship, leaving thousands to drown at sea.
What is she trying to do?
Because it's so sharp.
This is so weird. What was that? Was she trying to flirt? Was that her trying to flirt?
What do you think of him?
I don't have any opinion about him. I hardly know him.
You
Good
like him,
answer.
don't you?
Why? Okay, so Zuko's super insecure now. This is a lot going on. I'm mainly focusing on Azula and just how weird she's acting in casual settings.
Pretty impressed by a sand pagoda that I made for her.
I met her first. Look, it doesn't matter who I met first, because I like you all.
Oh, this is so creepy.
Yeah.
Tell us.
I don't know.
She likes the no. That's a bit much. She definitely likes the attention though. She doesn't.
Those boys only like you because you make it so easy for them. You're not a challenge, you're a tease. It's not like they actually care who you are.
I would say no. Tylee comes off as just very kind and sweet. And I think so. She doesn't tell people to like, get lost. She didn't even say it then. She just went punching them.
I said it because I was a little jealous.
You were jealous of me? You're the most beautiful, smartest, perfect girl in the world.
There's another angle to this. No way.
You're right about all those things, but for some reason when I meet boys, they act as if I'm going to do something horrible to them.
Probably would do something horrible to them.
Okay, honesty, great. So you are very scary.
And smile a lot and laugh at everything he says, even if it's not funny.
Really?
Sounds really shallow and stupid.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Okay, this is such a cool side of Azula. She's actually taking advice and trying to go into a romantic setting. Okay, she does everything way too over the top. She does it too much. This is quite sweet. It's almost development in a way. She's trying to improve in a setting she's not good at.
Chan, I'm ready for a tour of the house.
It's a great place, if you like sand.
Hold it back.
Welcome to Sandyland.
That's not funny. This dude really does not know that she's like princess of the Fire Nation, does she? How disconnected are the people to the like royal family?
Strongest couple in the entire world. We will dominate the earth.
Oh, great.
I gotta go.
Oh, that's so awkward. Does she see where she went wrong there? Does she know?
That food was for my cranky girlfriend.
Cranky. Yeah. Oh, great. Oh, calm down, anger issues.
Relax. It's just a party.
How was that not like just super straight? They just flicked him and just made him fly across the room.
You blow up over every little thing. You're so impatient and hot-headed and angry.
And that's because he knows the Avatar's alive and he's completely losing it.
It's over, Zuko. We're done.
Oh.
Who broke my Nana's vase?
Really? No, technically the other guy broke it. He slammed into it.
Have fun by yourself, loser boy.
They're such idiots. I honestly wouldn't mind if you just burned this whole place down. I mean, Azula, the other guy, he just seems like way out of his depth when it comes to Azula. That whole thing with Zuko, yeah, I wouldn't mind vengeance on that. Oh. Yes, go more in depth on like the past of this place. I want to know like why it's so important to you. You just came here as kids. Was that Iroh or Ozai? Who did you come here with? Was it the whole family or just the main ones? I want to know, did you actually have a happy childhood? And there you all are. Oh. Okay, so there was a happy time with you lot? It wasn't always awful? And everything has changed. So there was a happiness to it. There was, like, good stuff for them. Okay, that... Oh.
Guys, you're all gonna think I'm crazy, but it feels like a metal man is coming.
I love this. She's basically like their little alarm system. You can just shine light. Oh, that's the hand. Can the hand move or is it just like stuck like that forever? What the? Yep, start doing stuff. But I can't. How was he? What? He's just shooting explosions at them. I love the sound design. It sounds amazing. Don't quite understand how he's doing it though. Is it the eye thing? Is that what he's breathing in and then is it like air? What is happening?
Come on. This place is depressing.
You want to cheer him up? I'm so confused with Azula. Is she actually trying to be a nice sister to Zuko? What is there no like? I mean, she's the heir to the throne. I wouldn't be surprised if she wants the crown.
Are you cold?
I'm freezing.
Hey, calm down.
I'll make a fire. There's plenty of stuff to burn in there.
Wait, are you gonna burn your old house with all the memories in it that are good memories?
This is crazy! How can we beat a guy who blows things up with his mind?
Yeah, so he's not even using hand movements or doing any like fighting style. It's just fully him breathing and blowing things up. Like, is this a well-known form of bending? He's shooting explosions. This seems way too overpowered. Okay, at least from this, you know he's only after Aang. Ooh, I love the sound of it. I honestly, I kind of want to just keep it going because the sound is so cool. He's not being hit by anything. He can just... Ooh! Okay! He is explosion bending. He is just exploding whatever. It's not even like making anything explode. It's just the air. Is it kind of air bending? Is that because could that be linked to this weird third eye thing, spiritual stuff? It's definitely the third eye. Are you seeing stuff through it? Can you sense? You gotta move. You gotta move. Oh, cool! He did the rock armor. Okay, you're away, you're good.
I'm okay.
Well, that was random.
I get the feeling he knows who we are.
Yeah. The good thing though, he just avoided the whole Fire Nation knowing about you, so that was good.
It's a painting of your family.
Yeah.
You think I care?
I mean, this is when it was good. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to think of your family how it was and how it should have been? Just happy?
You're stuck in your little Ty world where everything's great all the time.
Why are you just so insulting to everyone?
Look at me. I can walk on my hands. Woo!
Why are you just so mean? It's the Avatar.
Yes, I'm a circus freak. Go ahead and laugh all you want. You want to know why I joined the circus?
No, yes, I do.
Growing up with 6 sisters who look exactly like me, it was like I didn't even have my own name.
So neglected or just, he had no identity.
Spending the rest of my life as part of a matched set.
I love this. We're going in depth on like all of them. Go, May's turn. Do May.
You couldn't get enough attention when you were a kid, so Trying to make up for it now.
And she's doing the circus because the spotlight would be on her, and she sort of flirts a lot because it's attention. It makes sense.
Your aura is this dingy, pasty, gray.
I don't believe in aura.
You don't believe in anything.
Go in depth, come on. Can we get something on May? That was so much on Ty Lee, come on. More on May.
You want a teary confession about how hard my childhood was? Well, it wasn't.
So she doesn't compress feeling. Does she not?
A child who got anything I wanted as long as I behaved and sat still and didn't speak unless spoken to.
So she was conditioned into this.
My mother said I had to keep out of trouble. We had my dad's political career to think about.
So she was conditioned into suppressing everything about herself.
That's why you're afraid to care about anything, and why you can't express yourself.
You want me to express myself? Leave me alone!
Ooh, shouting at Azula.
Don't touch me! I'm still mad at you.
Yeah, is this relationship salvageable?
This much negative energy is bad for your skin.
Normal teenagers worry about bad skin. I don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
Decided to teach me a permanent lesson on my face.
Yeah, that's not great.
I'm back home now. My dad talks to me. He even thinks I'm a hero. Everything should be perfect, right?
Azula's smiling. She knows. Okay, there is an alternate thing here. She has her own plot of whatever's going on. She's waiting.
Who are you angry at?
No one. I'm just angry.
It's like a therapy session.
Is it Dad?
No.
Your uncle?
It's himself. It's himself.
Who are you angry at?
Answer the question, Zuko.
Talk to
He's angry at himself for making so many mistakes in his life that have led to this point.
I'm angry at myself.
Yeah. Love the firebending.
Because I'm not sure I know the difference between right and wrong anymore.
I know one thing I care about. I care about you.
Okay, so he can't... Okay, savage. So he can't actually tell the difference between right and wrong? That is very interesting. So Iroh has gone through to him in some way, he's taught him everything. Now it's just up to Zuko to figure it out.
I could sit here and complain how our mom liked Zuko more than me, but I don't really care.
Okay, so you're fine with that?
My own mother thought I was a monster. She was right, of course, but it still hurt.
Oh, wait, okay. No, okay, she's fine with that. I remember her mum said, like, what is wrong with that child? Is that sort of... I wouldn't say her mum would have thought she was a monster. That feels like too much. Is that true?
We've got some bad news, Chan.
Party's over.
Oh, great. And you're just destroying everything. It's not like you can be arrested, right? Your whole place is corrupt and you're like royalty. And yeah, just... I mean, I feel bad for him. He wasn't really the one that did anything. Lovely picture at the end, surrounded by fire. Okay, that was cool. Would have preferred to have revenge on the guy that was trying to chat up May. Okay, this is such a fun episode. I feel like there's so much to like go into now. You have the whole explosion thing, which that felt like the secondary part of this. It was definitely the focus of this. It was definitely on Zuko's side of everything. And not just, it wasn't like a Zuko thing. It was all of them, all four characters there. I love that it actually brought May and Ty Lee into more focus because they, for the longest time, they were just Azula's team. That was just them. They didn't really have their own stuff going on. Now we get far more info on them, and it explains so much, and they did it in such a quick and good way, having them sitting by the fire and just talking about it. It felt therapeutic. Knowing that Ty Lee, basically, she didn't get enough attention as a child. She was one of 6 children, and she basically got lost in a crowd. So she became unnoticed, and it probably drove her crazy. She wants attention. So she joined the circus, because the spotlight was always be on her. She became the best at what she does, has the whole chi thing, which is another aspect of, I guess, being able to control the attention. So she likes it. If it gets too much, she can take care of it. And of course, she never learned to sort of control when she gets attention, because it's just, she likes it. So even when she's surrounded by like a bunch of guys, she likes that attention, but when it gets too much, she doesn't know how to respond, so she lashes out and blocks all their chi and paralyzes them. And it does make me more sympathetic towards her, because it adds so much. She isn't just Azula's lackey. She isn't just this bright, bubbly face that's almost their cheerleader. She has a lot going on underneath as well. And maybe got a lot from. Yes, we knew that she had that whole family in Omashu with her brother got kidnapped and that whole thing, and she seemed kind of fine, just putting him in danger, so that was lovely. But so it makes so much sense now why she is the way that she is, because she was conditioned as a child to basically be a prop, to be a cardboard cutout, to make her parents look good, so her father could get a political career. So it's such an interesting way, because her emotions aren't actually bottled up. She isn't trying to repress them. She just doesn't know how to express them, or she's been taught so much just to not feel and not show emotion and to just restrain herself. So I guess to actually express herself would take a whole lot. And she actually yelled at Azula. That was interesting. That was huge. She actually yelled at Azula. Azula is someone who loves control. She loves being in like the mastermind position. Having her subordinate yell at her, I'm sure couldn't have gone down well. So I feel like something's going to happen from there. Something's building here. We had that one little scene with when Azula confronted Zuko about seeing Iroh, and she told May to go, and she almost bit back a bit. Here, she's now yelling at Azula. There's friction here, which I really want, which I hope gets exposed and used and taken advantage of. Because I've got to remember that these guys are the bad guys right now. They're not the good guys. We want them to lose. Then we got so much on Azula. Not so much. Seeing her in a casual setting, it was so weird and funny. Like, I always saw her in the sort of the combat sense. She's completely insane, psychopathic, and it's like she almost... It channels Viking stuff, like they're berserkers, going completely nuts in a combat scenario to get victory no matter what. That is Azula. She just goes completely nuts to get the victory. She does not know how to turn that off, and it is so funny to see. Like, her trying, it was so awkward and stiff. It's nice to know that she's not great at everything, that there is some things that she can't do, and that is have a casual relationship with people, and just have I guess, even a romantic relationship with people. It's given something for her to develop. So maybe that could mean there is hope for her and there is some redemption. Because maybe if she was able to find love, since she clearly doesn't experience that with Ozai, I doubt there's any love there. Maybe if she could experience love in a romantic setting, that could bring her, maybe just fix her in a way. Like that whole thing with Azula saying that her mother thought she was a monster. I feel like that might be a bit much, but again, we don't know enough about Ursa to say what she actually thought. There was one scene looking at the past where Ursa said that, what is wrong with that child? What is wrong with Azula? That wasn't saying that she was a monster. That just said that there was a problem with her, which is that she is psychopathic. She doesn't really have empathy. That is a problem. It's a psychological issue. But then Azula seems to have sort of made it more than it was and said that she thought that her mother thinks she's a monster. Yeah, she said that she doesn't care about it, but I'm also maybe thinking that she probably does. I think any child would care what their mother thinks of them. Having your own mother think you are a monster would be awful for her. Even if she pretends not to care, I definitely think she does. But it's interesting that she's managed to sort of make it more than what it seems to have been. Unless it is true that Ursa actually thought Azula was a monster, that in that case she isn't probably the best mother. Zuko, of course, I think... Did Zuko get a lot of development here? I'm not quite sure he did. It dealt with his anger issues and dealing with all of that. I feel like it definitely did a whole lot more with Azula. Zuko, we know, is like in this lost place. He doesn't... I like the line. He doesn't know what is right and what is wrong at the minute. He's confused and he doesn't know where his path should lead. It's his father's sort of training and uncle's training. It's both of their wisdom. I wouldn't call Ozai wisdom. I call him training. It's their influence over him. They are now battling out in his mind. And he needs to figure out what is right, what is wrong, and which direction to go. I love that it isn't an easy thing for him to do. He actually has to think about it. He's been taught by Ozai since his childhood. Iroh maybe got to like 3 years or however long he was on the boat for. That's all compared to his whole life being under Ozai's influence. I love how difficult it is, but it shows what kind of powerful advice and influence Iroh had over him that has made such an impact over such a small amount of time. Yeah, May and Zuko's relationship, it's cute. They definitely match and work well together. They feel like a goth sort of... They feel like a very depressing couple, though. They're not that fun, but they definitely have all their issues going on. Zuko can express things quite well, and he's just very angry all the time. He doesn't have a lot of joy. And that can also be said the same for May, but her lack of joy comes from her not being able to express things. Both of them have a ways to go in just becoming healthy individuals, so I'm not sure being in a relationship at the minute would have the best outcome. They both have so many issues that are fundamental to just being a functioning human being, that being together, I don't see their own faults and their own advantages helping each other. Both of them aren't in the best places, and it seems like they can't help each other get through that. They don't have the sort of qualities to help each other. Yeah, then moving on to the more insane aspects of this episode, you have the guy who can shoot explosions out of his head. I'm so confused on how that works. It looks insane. Sound design, amazing. But is the thing coming out of his head? I need to know if is that marking on his head a tattoo, or is it a hole in his skull for his brain to shoot explosions from? I'm hoping it's just the tattoo, because otherwise the hole will be super dark. But yeah, so I'm trying to think of how it's actually shown off. So If it was fully mind-controlled explosions, I think he could just make an explosion happen wherever he wanted. He wouldn't have to actually have a line and a shot come through from his face to wherever the explosion is. There's a distance that the line is travelling from. So it's travelling from the tattoo to its destination. So it's not quite the mind thing, but it's still bending. He's able to bend, I think, the air inside of his lungs, because you saw that his like chest constricted, or like he basically made a stomach vacuum and forced the air out, and that is what caused the explosion. So is it like a mix of air bending and fire bending? It's definitely fire bending. It's a giant explosion. But is it, because like Aang managed to sort of stop it a little bit with air bending. So it feels like it's crossing the lines there. But yeah, he completely outmatched all of them. They really introduced someone even more powerful than like, would he be more powerful than Azula? Like she was the bar that they needed to power. That was the mark that they needed to reach in terms of power. She was the most powerful thing they could face, and they came close into defeating her, but then of course you had season 2 final. Aang technically died, but brought it back to life. But I think he made her scared. So I feel like they're kind of good match against Azula now. But then you bring in this guy, and he is absolutely insane. So how are they meant to beat him? He can, whatever they throw at him, he can just explode it. Even Toph's earth stuff, that did nothing. He was able to just blow through it. It feels like such a dangerous form of bending. Like, just imagine, if this guy didn't make himself known to them, he could have completely taken them out so easily. I'm so thankful they have Toph on their team, who acts like that kind of just alarm system. She was able, thanks to her, they didn't die. They were asleep. This guy would have taken them all out. Like the metal hand and arm, I don't know if that's like something important. Does that go towards the bending? Like, what is that with that? Because there were springs on the foot. I don't know if the arm actually moves, or if it's just stuck looking at this giant evil thing. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack about this guy. He has no lines of dialogue. He just shows up, starts making explosions, and that's it. So I need more info on this dude. Okay, to start off, season 3, again, another amazing episode. They're not dropping like the ball with any of these episodes so far. Amazing. There's, again, a more character developmental episode rather than moving the plot forward, which I do like, and they managed to do a lot here. Dealing with not only Zuko, who I really wanted, they managed to put a lot into Azula, Mai, Ty Lee, all of them. So yeah, just looking closely at Zuko, I feel like Azula definitely got more screen time in this one, but Zuko's, it felt we got to get a good feel of what his anger is at the minute. He came off as very angry towards Iroh, but that's only when he's volatile at the minute. So it's good to get to see him for the whole duration of the episode and see what he's actually getting up to. Like, it's so sad also just seeing him go through the memories and see that there was a good time, and now just seeing how everything's changed. And it's almost like he knows that there's a difference. Something still isn't right. It isn't like it was in the past, and something is broken, and he doesn't know what to think, what is right and wrong. And I love the line of him not being confused and not knowing what to do. Like, his anger is such a powerful thing as well, because we see it with the bending. Like, when he gets angry, we saw the campfire just shoot up at the sky. But I do love that when he's talking to Mai, at least most of the time, it calms him down. So I feel like that is a good part of their relationship. So I don't know if it's the best relationship out there. I feel like they're both quite self-destructive. But it's nice that at least that is something that can calm Zuko down. Because he still feels lost, he doesn't know where he should go, and he also has the pressing issue of the Avatar being alive and out there, and his whole life could be taken away from him again. Azula really stole the show in this episode. I feel like she got so much of the focus, and I think it was just so fun to see her in a casual setting. Her personality is built for combat. She's completely insane, going berserk, going all out until she has victory. That's her thing. Putting it into casual settings where there isn't the risk of death or victory, like that sort of thing, it's so weird to see that she can't turn it off. She doesn't have like a lower setting than what she's at. She's fully psychopathic, and she just can't understand or navigate social situations. It makes me wonder if she is like going to be like the villain for the whole thing. Maybe there is some hope for her to change, because to introduce this flaw in her, it feels like something that can be built on and can be improved and developed. That she has this fault that could make her better if it were to be fixed. Like, she was actually trying to flirt and actually get along with guys and almost form a romantic connection there, yet she's not good at it. And so that is something that she's struggling with, and something she knows she's struggling with and is trying to improve. She knows that the outcome of that isn't victory or death or whatever. It's not a battle situation. It's love, and that's something I guess she can't understand. Her family life isn't that great, so she obviously doesn't have a great experience with love. I doubt Ozai is the most loving father, and of course Ursa's gone, and she doesn't have the best relationship with her mum anyway. It's very interesting how the lack of love is kind of what's caused her lack of love, and being raised by Ozai is what's caused this. And there's this, I guess, this longing in her to have love and to have that. She is trying to do it. It's the one thing we've seen outside of her combat that's almost a very definitive thing about her. Also really liked her little talk around the campfire at the end. She basically said that she's had the perfect childhood, she's fine with everything, blah, 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 blah. Then the only thing that's kind of gnawing at her is that her mother thought she was a monster. That I would want more information on, because we've seen them in the past. We know that Ursa had reservations about Azula. We don't know who Ursa is as a mother. We know she's close to Zuko, that's fine. But Azula, the only interaction they had was that she thought, what is wrong with that child? And that, I think that could be taken as sarcastic. Maybe she think, oh, what is wrong with that child now? That sort of thing. So I don't know what to read into that. It could mean that she does view Azula as a monster, but we just don't know what the relationship is there. Maybe Azula built up in her mind that her mother hated her, because she left when Azula was very little, so there's not a lot to go on. I think it's very important to know whether or not Ursa was actually a terrible mother to Azula, or if it's something that Azula's built up in her mind, because it adds so much more to her character. Because if it was her mother, I will feel sympathy for Azula. I'd feel bad that she had that rough childhood, and that could explain why she is the way she is. Or if she's built it up in her mind, it becomes a coping mechanism, where she's trying to excuse her own behaviour. So she has some idea of right and wrong, and she's saying she is the way that she is because her mother viewed her this way. That's what she's blaming it on. If she had a better childhood, maybe she wouldn't have turned out this way. Maybe she would have been good. But she's blaming it on the fact her mother thought she was a monster, even though that might not be the case. And it almost adds more to her insanity. May love that we got more on her, so we get to know that, because I think I've just seen Bad Batch, and it dealt with an amazing sort of representation of people who understand emotion differently and can express emotion differently with tech. May, I feel like, could have been one of those characters, but I guess instead of being born into a certain way of processing emotion, it's something that's taught. She's been conditioned to suppress everything, which is really sad. It's not something that she was born with. She was basically, I would describe it as a type of torture. She's been put down and told so strictly to not express anything. And it was for selfish reasons. It was for her father to get political power, which succeeded, and I can only imagine what life is going to be like for her brother then. So is her brother going to go through the same thing and end up just like May, having to be completely depressed and can't express anything? Because now the issue for May is, when she does express something, it comes out as a shout, because that's all that she can do. She can't express the little things. She can only express the things that have built up inside, and it just comes out in an explosion, basically. So she's yelling at Azula. So there's things going on there. There's things building between her and Azula. Because if it was a little thing, she would repress it. Since she's actually yelling at Azula, it's quite big and quite a lot going on within May. So yeah, what is she thinking about Azula then? To actually force her to express something like that, to actually yell at Azula. There's so much going on there that I want to unpick. Do you like the direction they also took with Ty Lee? Because she's obviously meant to be sort of the very eye-catching member of the group, and yet she's always been sort of very powerful in combat. She's always had a lot going on, and her personality was always just quite fun. She was always cheery and upbeat and just happy. And it contradicted everything else in her group. Azula, very mean, May, depressing. Then you have Ty Lee, who just sticks out. This sort of explained that, and it's would you say it's an overcompensation of being happy and cheery? She's a performer. She likes attention. That's what we've gotten from this episode. So to get attention, she comes off as happy to be approachable, to get people to notice her. So she overcompensates to get people to come around her. May obviously pushes people away. Azula definitely pushes people away. And that's because of their personalities. Ty Lee is bubbly and cheery, which draws people in. Her backstory, I wouldn't say is as deep or depressing as some of the others, but hers is definitely, it's bad. It's still sad that all these characters basically have been messed up in their childhood. She was neglected. There's still not a lot to go into. I don't know if is it neglecting, or is it like in her head? We know that it's 6 siblings, and so she's obviously been overlooked by both parents and forgotten about, which is very sad. It's awful. She hasn't received enough love or attention from the people that are meant to care about her the most. So to make up for that, she goes into performing. She joins the circus, gets the spotlight, and fills in what should have been in her childhood, which is defining her, but it's something that should be developed so that she can overcome this. This shouldn't be what defines her. But it's also gone into how she's dealing with guys. That sort of idea that she's too bubbly and too sort of approachable, means anyone's going to come around her. They're going to gawk at her and just try and approach her and talk to her. And it gets to the point where the attention gets too much for her. So there is a point where the attention is too much, and she doesn't know how to deal with it. She lashes out, and she punches them all, and manages to incapacitate them all, which is a brilliant way to deal with it. Like, it's not the healthiest thing. Imagine if she does get into a relationship with someone, and they become overly affectionate towards her, give her a bunch of attention, what would happen there? Would she be comfortable with it, or would she start lashing out and just punch them and incapacitate them? She's become a very interesting character just from that alone. I think it explains why she isn't as depressing as all the others. Her backstory is sad, but not downright depressing. And it means that she makes up for it just being bubbly, enthusiastic, and wanting attention. I think that's done very well. Then just looking at, like, Ember Island as a whole, this whole place served as this sort of... It was like a memory bank for all of them. We got to see Azula and Zuko reminisce, well, mainly Zuko, and reminisce about their old life, their childhood, the when times were happy, and I guess they were living in sort of ignorant bliss. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know who their father was and what he was actually like. They just got to see their parents for what they were, and not what they were, just on dealing with children. They got to see happiness. That was their experience, and they're using that to compare what life is now. Even though things are back to sort of normal, things are still sad, things are depressing, things are messed up. Zuko's still angry, yet he can't figure out why. He has everything he wants. Maybe he's thinking about his mother. Maybe since she's gone, maybe he's using that to explain why he's feeling the way he is. And I said that they use the memories as such a vivid device about trying to figure out, for Zuko, what is wrong here, what is wrong in his life. I also find it really weird that the people didn't recognise Zuko and Azula. I guess they don't have TVs, or do they have newspapers here? So it kind of gets explained that they wouldn't be able to recognise them since they probably don't see them day to day. I mean, for me, we have the royal family in the UK. They're pretty easily recognisable, but I probably would not recognise the younger members. I think it's William and Kate's children, Harry's child. I wouldn't recognise any of them. It's like the main ones are always in the media that you recognise. There isn't really a media in the Fire Nation. Ozai probably would recognise his pictures everywhere, but Zuko and Azula's pictures aren't. So that could be another telling thing that Ozai, he clearly does not care about his children. Would you describe him as a narcissist? Is that another aspect of his character? That he sees himself as so important that it even overshadows his own children, that the country should only know about him, not the heirs. Then you have Aang's side of the story, which is much more light, I guess, and fun, at least for a little... No, this whole episode feels weird in the tone. It's quite interesting to think about. Zuko's one did a great balance with light and levity and becoming more serious towards the end. Aang's, their balance was much more... It was tipped a whole lot more. It started off light with the swimming, then it got really, really serious near the end. And that one was a much more drastic shift. Yeah, Aang, so he's very cavalier about the whole hiding the arrow thing. That's not great. The only reason they did not get exposed is from the assassin. And the bad thing is, there's 2 Fire Nation people that still know Aang is alive. So if they don't get word back or a response from the Fire Nation, they might send another hawk. They might do that again. They still have the information that Aang is alive. That is an issue that Aang has made because he's not hiding the tattoos. Yes, he thought he was alone, but again, you're in enemy territory. You can't be this relaxed about everything. The assassin I'm so confused with. So this guy has the marking on his forehead. I have no idea what to think of that. I'm assuming it's inspired by the idea of the third eye thing. That I think it stems to spirituality, maybe Buddhism, maybe it's something else. I'm not quite sure. I know it's mysticism stuff. I'm not quite sure. I would assume that is where this thing is from. But it doesn't act in the same way. It seems like that is the thing that allows this metal man to shoot explosions. I think it came from the spot. And the idea of it is so weird to me. I don't know if he's he's breathing out, he's making a stomach vacuum and forcing air out, and that is shot to a destination which then explodes. That is the process of it. But then that would make me think that the air is coming out of his nose and mouth. If that was the case, the eye thing wouldn't serve much purpose. So that makes me think that the eye thing is actually a hole and the air is coming out of there. That is horrifying, and if that is true, does this mean he's kind of an artificial bender? That would be so creepy and really cool. Because that means the metal arm and the leg thing would make more sense, seeing as this guy could have been experimented on to create whatever this bending is. That would be so cool, that someone actually experimented on a bender to create a new type of bending. Not something that was naturally produced. But where someone messed with someone's biology Because I don't think he opened his mouth at all when he bended. So that means it would have to come out of his nose otherwise. Unless it is fully telekinetic explosion thing. But if that was true, then I don't get how it would have been shot. And there was like a stream of air coming from him to the explosion site. There's so much weird things going on with him. I want more information on how on earth this guy works. I mean, I get that he's the villain and I should be hoping that he stops or whatever, but I'm just fascinated about that now. All the other benders have martial arts and stuff that goes on with them. It all looks so different and unique. This guy almost takes the cake in a way. He doesn't do anything other than stand there, and that is so much weirder. Because now I'm trying to figure out how you're meant to deal with him. Because like Azula, she's a firebender, just extremely powerful, so you can learn from other firebenders how to take her out. Toph kind of has it sorted by just knocking out her feet. Then you have this dude who only has to stand there. Nothing can hit him because he just explodes it. He just can. It's not even snapping his fingers. It's instant explosions. He's incredibly fast, and I guess even physically, he's kind of a wall. So even if you did hit him, would it even do much? I can't wait to see how the gang can take on this guy, because it feels like it feels like an incredibly difficult obstacle now. I love that he's raised the stakes above Azula, kind of. I'm sure Azula's probably more powerful in some regard, but seeing as this guy is new and just you don't know how to deal with him in any way. Azula you can at least deal with in the sense that she's a firebender. This guy is new and just weird, and there's just so much going on, and it has raised the stakes, and I can't wait to see how they can overcome this thing. Overall, this episode was amazing. Love how it played with tone. The techniques they used to explore all the characters' pasts, and just see the way they went in depth onto the enemies of the main guy. The main group, they were secondary of this episode. We got a full episode on not just Zuko, not just Azula, but May entirely. It made them all feel like prominent characters. Because right now, basically, in my mind, it was the Aang and his gang, Zuko and Azula. They were sort of the main, and May entirely were along for the ride. Now it's made May entirely much more up there. It means it almost is like Zuko's got his own gang, or Azula has her own gang. Then you have Aang and the Avatar gang. You have these 4 groups now that are going to go head to head. It's really built up May entirely in such amazing ways. Then it, of course, added the whole new stakes, the weird explosion dude, and I can't wait to see what becomes of that and how they're able to deal with whatever that is. And then Zuko's story, I think, I did a great job just exploring Azula, but Zuko is done a great way of, I guess, giving you an understanding of him and just seeing his anger, and it makes you long for him to just get better and to get in a better, healthier place. And that is what I want. I want him to be redeemed in some way. It's going to be difficult, but I hope that can happen some way. I want him to become good. I want him to fix himself. I want him to make amends with Iroh. And this, I think, served as a great way of just showing that he isn't evil. He has issues, and that is what's wrong with him. He has so much going on in his head. He doesn't know what to do, and that is what's caused all of this. But yeah, with that said, that does bring me to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one for Season 3, Episode 6. See ya!